The glory of God. The air hung heavy with the scent of myrrh and the finality of death. Kneeling in the dust before the sealed tomb, Martha and Mary were hollowed out by a grief that had consumed them for 4 long days. Then a presence cut through their sorrow. Jesus had arrived. He moved with a quiet authority, his olive skin glowing with a gentle warmth against the stark rock. His brown hair was stirred by a soft breeze, and his brown eyes, deep and compassionate, held not a distant knowledge, but a profound, shared sorrow. Martha looked up, tears streaming down her face. Her voice choked with love and loss. "Lord," she whispered, her heart aching, "if you had only been here, my brother would not have died." Jesus looked at her, and in his gaze, she felt a wave of peace that did not erase her pain, but gave it a sliver of impossible hope. "Your brother will rise again," he said, his voice a gentle but firm assurance. The words were a promise, a seed of light planted in the deepest darkness. "Take away the stone," Jesus said, his voice resonating with quiet power. A wave of concern passed through the small crowd. "But Lord," Martha said, her practical nature surfacing through her grief, "by this time there is a bad odor, for he has been there 4 days." Jesus' eyes met hers, and they shone with a brilliant, golden light that seemed to emanate from his very soul. "Did I not tell you," he asked gently, "that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?" 2 men, their faces a mixture of apprehension and faith, set their shoulders to the heavy stone. As it rolled aside, the stench of death, heavy and sour, washed out from the tomb's dark mouth. The crowd instinctively drew back, but the foul air seemed to part before Jesus, unable to touch him. He stood at the entrance to the grave, a figure of pure light, a stark contrast to the darkness within. He lifted his face to the heavens, his eyes closed in prayer. "Father, I thank you that you have heard me." A pillar of brilliant, heavenly light erupted from the sky, bathing him in its divine radiance. The energy was palpable, a holy power that made the very air hum. He turned his gaze to the tomb, and his voice, filled with the authority of heaven itself, rang out like a trumpet call of creation. "Lazarus, come forth." A reverent hush fell over the crowd. Then, from the darkness, a sound, not of decay being violated, but of life being renewed. A gentle stirring, the soft rustle of linen, and the quiet intake of a first, miraculous breath. It was the sound of a divine reversal, of death itself bowing to the will of its creator. A hand, clean and whole, reached into the light at the edge of the tomb. The figure that followed was not a monster, but a man. Lazarus stood there, wrapped in his burial cloths, blinking against the sudden brightness. He moved, not with the jerkiness of the undead, but with the slow wonder of one waking from a long and distant dream. Jesus looked upon the restored man, a serene and loving smile gracing his lips. He turned his gaze upon the stunned sisters, their faces wet with tears of disbelief and joy. "Unbind him," he commanded, his voice filled with gentle happiness, "and let him go." The crowd was silent, paralyzed by a joy so profound it was almost indistinguishable from terror. Mary and Martha rushed forward, their hands trembling with joy as they unwound the linen strips from their brother. The smell of the grave was gone, replaced by the scent of fresh air and life. Color had returned to his cheeks. His skin was warm. His eyes, when they met theirs, were the clear, loving eyes of the brother they had lost, now miraculously returned to them. Jesus watched the family's tearful reunion, his heart filled with love for them. He had not come to display his power, but to reveal the boundless compassion of the Father. Turning quietly, he walked away, leaving behind him not a terrifying spectacle, but a true miracle, a family made whole, a man reborn, and the undeniable, glorious proof of a love that conquers even death.